we're back.
Yes, it's been a long time, like a really aggressively long time. But life is a lot.
Obscene amount of time.
Yeah, life is a lot. 3 kids is a lot.
He's a lot.
Okay, so we're making a commitment to give you guys content every week, once every week, every Wednesday. Wednesday, hump day, right? Hump day, because marriage could be like a collection of Wednesdays.
That's not
so,
where I thought you were going.
Where do you think I was going?
Something about a camel. Humps. I don't know. Take 2.
Hi, everyone.
Go.
Hi, everyone. You're about to watch a new episode of Red Couch Chronicles. We just wanted to put a disclaimer out on this one. We had some tech issues, and that is one of the reasons why it's so late in us even bringing it to you, because we kind of went back and forth with whether or not we would air it. But the content is really good.
Really good.
The couple that we sat with is Cecil and Bernie Clark.
Bernie.
Yes, who are members of our church at Hope's House. Been married in the game for 35 plus years.
Kids, grandkids, sickness and health, they got it all.
Yes, and they had some really terrific nuggets that they shared with us and with you. So we hope you enjoy. Here it is.
Is there anything that you guys would say to an engaged couple or a newlywed couple? Just, some words of encouragement or what would you guys say to us? We've only been married almost 5 years.
I think is there a secret? I'm going to say no. First of all, Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. Mm-hmm. If we didn't have Jesus, I don't think we'd still be married. I really don't. It's too easy to quit and go find a new job, because marriage is the most difficult job you can have. There's no roadmap. There's no, if you follow instructions this through here on page 1 through 47, you got it. No, it's not like that. So there's no quitting. There's no end. Figure it out. Make it work. Be the best you can be. I'm going to be the best wife I can be, and I'm hoping he's trying to be the best husband he can be, and we can make this work. Through all things, we look to God. We really do, because we can't do this on our own. It's impossible. It is impossible. There was too much self. I know I brought a lot of self. I don't know about you, but I brought a lot of self. He had a lot. And I'm like, what's wrong with him? Maybe I should have went and saw his family and asked them questions, or something. It wasn't easy because it wasn't my way.
Right.
And I had to come to a point of understanding that it's not going to always be my way. Desire to want to succeed is one. A lot of back up, start, go, can't go through the door, go through the window. I mean, there's going to be a way to get it done. There has to be. A lot of prayer. And I think a major thing that I see at work, you bring your marriage to work. We don't do that. Our marriage is between us. You will never hear anyone say anything about what our marriage is like, because that's us. We've chosen to keep our marriage between us, because that's who I'm married to. And God is the third person. I don't need everybody else off in my marriage, because if I go to you and say, Adrian, you know what, he's this, that, and the other, the minute you get upset, or you know what, she said he ain't even no good. Why? This is what's happening. I see it happen at church, I see it happen at work, I see it happen everywhere I go. We've chosen to keep our marriage between us. So if I have a problem with my marriage, I'm going to tell him.
Right.
That's who I'm going to tell. And I'm going to expect help.
Right.
change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
I'm
because what are
expecting.
you gonna do about my problem with Raj?
Nothing.
Right.
I can't do anything.
Right,
I
that
can
doesn't
pray
make any
for
sense.
you.
Right.
That's about
Right.
it. Which is you can pray. He
And
can
I
pray
always
for
say, there should be nothing that I should be able. I don't care if it's good, bad, ugly, in between. There should be nothing that I should hear in the streets about my husband that I
you.
didn't.
No,
Right.
no.
I don't care if it's. I don't care how terrible it is.
I don't care.
Yeah,
I
there
better
should
not
there
hear
should be
it.
nothing taboo between us. And I
Mm-mm.
feel like, especially like women, we get like with our girlfriends, and,
Yes.
and I'm not saying you don't need those
Yeah,
moments.
some people do.
Yeah, I'm not saying you don't need those moments, but there should be no major thing like I'm dealing with this thing with my husband and he's never heard of it.
Right.
But you
Yeah.
know all the details,
Uh-huh.
and you've never even given the other person an opportunity to
Yeah.
address it or correct it. I feel like that's really unfair. We're each other's first line of defense. I think.
Exactly, and I agree with that 100%.
And to get to that point, I really think through the process, it really first starts with honesty.
Mm.
You have got to be honest with each other. Doesn't mean you're going to like everything that you hear or
Yeah.
everything that is said, but if you're going to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
you really have to say those things that are hurtful, that are true, that it's how you think or feel or what you react to, but you got to be honest about that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you always have to watch how you say it and present it.
Mm-hmm.
Second, after being honest, you have to be respectful.
Right.
And when you're respecting each other, then there's trust.
Yeah.
When trust is there, you keep building the foundation. But without trust, then, hey,
What do you got?
guys start feeling like, you know what, she's disrespecting me.
Yep.
Women feel like, well, I can't trust him.
Yep.
You know, because he's not in it for me.
That's
So again,
those are the two things.
if
Yep.
you're building on first the honesty, second, you got to respect each other. You got to build your trust. Then you have to understand that you have to have compromise. It's not one way or the other. After the compromise, then you have to have a shared vision, a shared goal. Hey, we got to see this. We're in this together. It's us. And then you have to be willing to put in the work. And when you put in the work together, I don't think there's anything we cannot accomplish.
I agree.
Together.
Together.
I agree.
And then that
I agree.
That's your work.
That just encapsulates it all.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I
totally agree.
love the honesty at the head
Yes.
because it is the foundation for everything. If you're being untruthful, then where can we go?
Yeah.
Right? And then in that truth, sometimes people take truth to mean, well, I can just say anything I want to say, how I want
Right.
to say it.
Right.
That's
No,
that's
no.
where the respect comes in.
Right.
Because this is my friend and I care about this person.
Yeah.
Even in my truth, I want to make sure that you're okay.
Right.
Because I
Yes.
care for you. Because
Right.
you're my boy.
Right.
It doesn't matter, like, I want to say what I need to say and I want to make sure that I get all of my truth out. But I want to do it in a way that leaves you intact.
Yes.
Because
absolutely.
we
If
still
we're really friends.
Yeah, because we still have to continue this road together.
Right.
Right. And then from that truth into that respect, I love the you said next the compromise, which I feel like we say like you gotta put your big boy pants on,
Yeah.
or big girl pants on.
Oh,
Like,
she will tell it. She will say that.
that's the moment, man.
Oh yeah, and then it's a gut check. What?
I love that.
Man, you take that compromise and into the shared vision. I think those are beautiful, and they're. I mean, anyone listening, you can hear those, but let that sink in and really pick that apart and really use that. And then another thing that you talked about was this pride and this ego, and I want to kind of speak to guys on this because I feel like, especially in this new generation of my generation, the men, they're so like this whole like we're trendy and we're like very attentive and we're like this new man, we're like this new millennial Renaissance.
Yeah.
We're not the old silent
We're
strong.
not cavemen.
We're not that guy,
Yeah.
man. So what happens is because of that persona, there's this idea that the pride and the ego have like are a thing of the past, but that's not true at all.
No, it is
The
not.
pride and the ego are still very much
Absolutely.
here
Alive
and
and
and here wrecking shop. And so what happened? But I feel like it's misidentified. It just feels like, well, I'm just trying to be heard, or I'm just trying to
I'm speaking my
express
truth.
myself. I'm speaking
I
my
hate that
truth.
line.
But
My truth.
but it's shrouded in ego
Yeah.
and it's shrouded in pride, and you can't nobody tell you nothing, and can't nobody speak to you because you were in defense all times. And so I guess my question is the recognition of that pride and the ego and addressing that for you. What were the things that helped you to address that pride and that ego as it related to your marriage?
Right? Only because listen, if you're gonna be honest with yourself,
Yes.
you can't BS yourself.
There it is.
You have to be honest with yourself and know.
Self-deception is the worst kind. Guys.
Did I not communicate clearly? Now it could be maybe I didn't. Maybe I communicated, but was it clear? That's always open for discussion, right? So can I learn to communicate better? Yes, because I was horrible at communicating, right? And to me, the communication it's more than just uttering a word or a grunt.
That is a form of communication.
Right.
With who?
Right.
For communication.
So I had to start really putting complete sentences together,
Right.
And having a subject and a verb, and not just I said so, what was that? Okay, so then I just can't assume.
No.
I got to take the assumption out. I'm just assuming that no, she don't know Jack. She looking at me like, but you didn't say nothing. And I'm looking at her like, well, I thought I did. Well, did I? Well, no, I didn't. But then I really didn't. So then it's like, okay. So as I'm owning this, I'm understanding that in this, I just cannot think because I'm thinking it, I'm communicating it. So I have to make sure I'm communicating all these things, and so then I started practicing more on my part of communication, knowing that I've done my part. And when I know I've done my part, I don't need to pat myself on the back to say I did my part.
Right.
I'm not going to rub your nose in it to say I've done my part.
Right.
I ain't got no ego like that. But I'm going to tell you, when I do say it, and then sometimes she's going to say, well, you say it like it's absolute. I said, no. It's not absolute.
That's my line.
It's not absolute. It's a matter of fact. But again, hey.
As I tell him, he's like, I was just suggesting. I said, stop acting like you ever use a suggestive tone. You only make declarative statements. And there's nothing suggestive in your.
But those are true statements that we have to check because again, we'll say it like it's gospel, and it's like.
Right, that's the gospel truth etched in stone. That's it.
And then when I'm wrong, it's like, hey, my bad. I apologize.
My bad.
Yeah.
And
so
the other thing is how you communicate, how you receive communication. I need eye contact.
Right.
I need you to look at me, not at the game, not at the
Right.
wall. I don't know that you heard me.
Right.
So it's like,
hey, man,
Cecil.
listen to this. Listen to this. This is good. Your girl here, look, you're in the middle of, all right, I'm watching TV. She come in, she's talking. I'm like, and then she'll go off, and then later, but it's really something I said, to. I have no
idea what you're talking about.
And she said, but you said, when? Well, when you, when I wasn't paying. So she come in, click. I turned the TV off. What are you doing? I want to make sure I listen. Oh, now you being funny. But no, I mean, and there's a wide range. But the issue is, we do have to be attentive, and sometimes I have to not be dismissive.
Yes.
And the conversation can't be when I think it needs to be, because again, she's her own person, and when she's wanting to share something, I now know that I need to pay attention, where before it was more like, well, if I'm doing something, I'm more dismissive of what it is that she's saying. But when I found the consequences to saying yes to something and not knowing what I said yes to, I'm the problem. And so then when you're trying to find out, well, where's these breakdowns occurring? Me, you, because I ain't listening, And so then I have to start really focusing and paying attention. So then I had to ask myself, well, which is more important? Well, god dang, it's not that TV or that other stuff. So now I have to really start saying, okay, then I have to really change my focus to say, okay, well, when you come in or whatever, but then I'll say, but at the same time, hey, work on when you want to have that conversation, because at the same
Playoff
time,
season is not the
just
time.
gonna go on.
That's just not a good time.
So,
Right.
you know, and
I love
it's
how much-
compromise. It's compromise.
It is. I love how much, I need you guys to hear this. I love how much self-awareness is
Yeah.
in this, is
100%.
at play right now.
100%.
If you are dating someone who is not self-aware, that is a huge red flag. Because
Yeah.
all the things we're saying are contingent upon both parties being able to have an introspective look at what's happening. And if you're not someone who does that, then you need to be single.
Yeah.
You're not ready. If you're not someone who can own truth, who can hear the hurtful thing and then say, okay, that was a little spicy, but you're right.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? If you're not someone who can say, oh, why is it, oh, I didn't communicate that. Oh, I'm not, like, all of that is a view, is an internal look at who you are being.
Right.
And
Right.
if you're not a person who looks at yourself and looks how to better, how to grow, how to, I would venture to say you're not ready to be married. Like, that's just, you're not ready.
Yeah.
And you can grow to that person, but
For sure.
that's a huge red flag.
I would say marriage is not for the faint at heart.
Yes.
It's
True.
really put in your seasons. Really get to know if this is right for you. If this marriage, if you guys gel. You know, if you have the same likes and dislikes, if the same criteria in meeting things, you know, the same, how would you deal with a certain situation? You can't argue about the little stuff. If you go in knowing how you would deal with that situation and how they feel about it, you know, you can't just change on me now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to know that person. You have to have his heart and he has to have yours. And you have to trust. If I'm in a fight with you, I don't want to have to look behind me. I want to know who we fighting. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me who we fighting. I don't have to fight you too.
Right.
That's too much.
Right.
That's just too much. So I would say to them, really, really get to know the person you know. Don't marry for anything except love. Because marry for money, that could go away. You marry for the right reason.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people marry in 2 months or 3 months or 6 months. I don't know how that happens. But I just need to know them, get to know their family, get to know everyone, all the players in the game, and make an informed decision.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you go by a house, you look in all the corners, see if
Right.
there's cracks,
Right.
see if there's mold,
Right.
see,
See
you know, what
everything,
you do, look and examine it.
You have one group of people who they just go at it with all heart and leave reason at the door.
Okay.
Right, and then you have people who are they've mapped out all the reason stuff, but they really know that the heart isn't in it, right? And the
Yeah.
idea is to take both of those things,
Yeah.
your whole self, and make this decision
Yeah.
Right.
with all parts of you,
Right.
with your spirit man, your mental and your sound man, all of these characters, and make an informed decision.
I used to be a teacher, and it would frustrate me when you can't teach how you learn.
Yes.
Right.
I need to teach how you learn.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why there's the love languages, right?
Yeah.
I need to love you how you need love. I
Yeah.
need to talk to you how you hear what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So it's more than just like, like if I'm the teacher and everybody failed, I can't be like, these students ain't understanding. No,
Right.
no, I didn't teach it.
That is so
Something
real.
else that I can't just keep saying, man, Rod is not listening. He doesn't get it. No, he didn't, because I didn't receive it in a way that he could hear it.
You
Right.
didn't say it in a way, right?
I didn't say it in a way that he could hear me.
Exactly.
So like we have to know that you need to be able to give what they need. I need to give how he
If
needs
you hear
it.
kids, that's at your house, and you should.
Address it. Get your kids under control, guys.
But the truth of the matter is, if I yell and scream and throw things, he doesn't hear me.
Right.
He doesn't hear that. I have
know.
to speak. If he yells and screams, I'm leaving out the front door. I'm not gonna stay. He never yells
Yeah.
and screams.
And the thing is, love looks different than TV.
Yes.
TV will distort your perception of what you think love is. Love can be argumentative. Love can be cuddling. Love can be kind. Love can be romantic. Love can be passionate. Love can be intimate. Love can be conflict. Love can be chaos. Love can be confusing. But one thing for certain, is it's never ending when you're in it to win.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for dropping
So much gold.
It's really really do appreciate it. Just from a genuine place, not even just from like doing a podcast or anything like that. Just that I feel like it's so good to hear sound information from people who are really doing it, and I feel like a lot of times for our generation, you lose those connections sometimes. I feel like you would normally get that information from your mother or your father, but a lot of our parents have divorced or single. So like trying to grasp and get those nuggets from the people who are closest to us, it doesn't always happen, or even from our grandparents or whoever. So you don't get to sit under someone always to like mentor you or talk to you or give you wise counsel regarding situations. You're getting it from television, you're getting it from your friends, and you're all kind of collectively bumping your heads together and trying to go through this
blind
thing.
in the blind.
And it's great to hear someone who's been down the road and say, hey, I had to deal with my pride and my just arrogant, and I had to deal with that, and I had to deal. I popped up, I threw things, and I had to wear that back in. I had to learn that my husband didn't hear me when I yelled. I had to learn that, like it's so refreshing and empowering to hear someone talk about the tools that they are using to be successful.
Right.
Because for me, I know especially, I'm very much if I know that. If I have a tool set, if I know that that when things come, if I know that I have a game plan of how to address it and what my goal is going to be, then I'm okay. I'm not blindsided by the things that come, because I got this. I got stuff. I'm ready to attack it and to address it. And I think that's what you gave anybody who's listening. You gave them tools. You gave them information. You gave to empower them in their situations. If they're in a marriage where the combative is on and the pride levels are high and the fighting is really happening, you spoke to that. They're in a relationship where where the trust is not really there. You spoke to that. You think the compromise in there. You spoke to that, and I feel like those things are super helpful to people who are trying to get to 35.
Only 30 more to go.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you guys.
Thank you. This
Thank
has
you.
been Red Couch.
Thank you so much for having
Episode
us.
6.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Favorites.
Yeah. Share, enjoy.
Share, enjoy,
tell a
like,
friend.
tag.
Yeah, all that good stuff. You know the deal.
Join us.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
guys. That was perfect.
Thank you.